What's going on, everyone? I want to welcome you back to another episode of GroupCast Sports Pick'em. I want to begin by giving a big shout out to our sponsors, Maggie May Designs, People's Bank, Brandy's Hope, and Sharon Ammann, Rodan and Fields. Jumping into the action, going to do a little recap of last week's picks, starting off with our featured game from last week, which was Northwest Rankin and Pearl. This is a really high anticipated game. Everyone was excited for this football game all over the state, simply because one of these teams is going to win the state championship in 6A. And it came as a big surprise when Northwest Rankin came out on top of Pearl 42-0. I had Northwest Rankin winning. I think that their offensive weapons was just too much for Pearl to handle. Now, I never expected Pearl to get shut out and beat as bad as they did, but I mean, it happens.
Yeah, I had Northwest Rankin too. I think who was on the two you picked, Pearl?
Me and Al.
Yeah, I mean, the majority picked Northwest Rankin, and I think deep down Alex thought Northwest Rankin had it. He just wanted an upset. But nobody thought Northwest Rankin was going to shut out the defending state champions. It just shouldn't have happened like that. I think Pearl, I looked at the recent poll, and now they're 5-6 here. I think they should fall lower than that. You just got shut out 42-0.
Oh, yeah.
No.
It's bad.
Northwest Rankin, I think it's clear that they're the team to beat in 6A. I mean, 6A really this year, they don't just have any top dog but them.
It's Starkville and Northwest Rankin.
That's two teams.
I have Pearl. Honestly, like Randy said, I think I was just kind of wanting an upset. But what this game showed was basically the same thing that's going to happen to Simpson when they face a top dog. When you face a defense that's going to stuff you up the middle and on the outside, you will get shut out because you have no passing game, and Pearl has no passing game. That's why they lost.
It wasn't close. I thought it'd be close. I had Northwest Rankin winning, but not like that.
Yeah, boy, was I wrong. I had Pearl. I figured their defense would come in, but honestly, I just underestimated the how lethal Northwest Rankin.
Northwest Rankin and Jerry.
Yeah, that was just crazy how good they were. I knew they were good. I didn't think they were that good. I figured Pearl would just ram it down their throats, and I thought they would overpower Northwest Rankin. But as you can see, I was very wrong. 42-0. I wasn't even close to right on the prediction.
Moving on to the next game, Simpson Academy versus Oak Forest. I chose Oak Forest to win this football game because I genuinely think that Oak Forest is a better football team than Simpson. And I had the game being close, and in the end, it was an 8-point difference. Oak Forest won 22-14. I wasn't at the game. I didn't watch the game. I simply just went by what I heard by ear. These three, Ethan and Randy went to the game. Stephen watched it on the live stream, and but yeah, like I said, I just think that Simpson didn't have a passing game once again. Like Alex said, they're one-dimensional.
Like I told y'all, I've already told y'all, this loss for Simpson, they showed me more in this loss than they did in their win against Leak. I think Oak Forest was just that good of a team, and I think the deciding factor in this game was the punter, honestly, on Oak Forest. It was unbelievable, the field position that he put Simpson in. When Simpson's defense was finally able to stop the run game that Oak Forest had, they just pinned him deep inside their own 10. And it didn't matter where he was. He'd go up and do a rugby-style kick. It was just amazing what he was doing out there. As a high school kicker, punter, you don't see that too often, especially not around here. But I think Simpson, they got a good team. They're stout. They've got too much talent to go to waste right now. They kept their offense vanilla once again. Michael Winstead had a halfback pass for like 37 yards. That was it. But I want to see something in the upcoming weeks from this team because I've said they have too much talent to waste.
And they do. Like Randy said, the only pass I think they completed besides a 2-point conversion or a little screen pass here and there was a halfback pass by Michael Winstead. Their quarterback dropped back deep. I saw one time, and man, it was a pass on the left side of the field, and the pick happened on the right side. So if that tells you anything, just goes to show that Simpson has no pass game. When you have to run the ball as much as they do, either one or two things are going to happen. Either You're going to get beat because you can't do anything else, or you're going to end up injuring both of your running backs. Because if those two take another beating like they did Friday night,
Corbin took him, and he should
they're
have beat him.
they're both heck of an athlete, both of them. But I mean, you got to change something.
I got to give Corbin props for even getting back up that game because he took a beating.
First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Chris Kaufman, who does a great job with that Simpson Academy live stream. But yeah, Simpson, they're just too one-dimensional right now. Michael Winstead is a phenomenal running back. Could honestly, if they had a better offense, would probably get more recognition. Could probably go play at a JUCO or maybe even a D1 program. He's that good and that talented. But you have playmakers on the edge. Bryce Kaufman's a playmaker. Hunter Klein's out there. He's a playmaker. You just got to get the ball to him. And right now, Simpson's not doing it.
This game went exactly how I expected it. Simpson, you can't win games when you're one-dimensional and your your pass game is atrocious. It doesn't matter how good your run game is. You can't run it that many times a game and expect good things to happen. They just can't throw the ball, and that's why they can't win. Oak Forest was overall just the better team. I think Simpson did all right with their run game, but all right with the run game isn't good enough when you run it the entire game.
And I know some of you aren't going to agree with me, but like I said, this game I do not think. Yes, it matters to the players, it matters to the coaches, but it doesn't matter as much as you really think. It's not going to hold any water come for playoffs. It's not going to hold any water from conference play, anything like that. So, I mean, I'm really hoping that Simpson is keeping that playbook vanilla right now.
I don't think
Just to hide it.
I don't think
because if they're not going to make much noise this year. And it's hard to watch it because they're letting so much talent on that team go to waste.
It doesn't matter for playoffs or standings once, district play hits. But it certainly matters for momentum going into district play. If you're a team that's sitting there 1-4, you're not very confident in your ability to go win big games against Lamar or Columbia or whoever they play. Now, if they're sitting there 4-1 or 5-0 confident, then they're confident that they can go in there and beat a big team like that. And confidence is a big part of football.
I'm just going to say this. I actually talked to a Simpson player's dad this week. I'm not going to release any information on his name or anything like that. But he did tell me that, because me and him were talking about, he was giving me a little crap about me not choosing Simpson to win. But he told me, he said, you and all your guys at GroupCast have to understand that the coaches at Simpson don't care about these games. That's just
I don't think they truly don't care.
Was exactly.
But I think they're hiding what they have.
I disagree. I think if you're down by 8 and it's fourth and
that
goal,
was.
I think you're going to pull out whatever you have to do to win. I don't think they have. Listen, they're not a team that is talented enough to do this. I think they have decent talent, but I don't think they're dynamic. I think that Simpson just isn't good enough to make any other plays, especially in the passing game. What are you going to do when they know you're running? There's not that many creative ways you can make a run because, honestly, their passing game is absolutely terrible. Their quarterback's gone. Maybe when Hooks Harvey comes back, it'll be a different story. But as of right now, they can't pass the ball.
I agree with Alex, and I'm just going to say this. If I was any other school that's playing Simpson Academy, I would do exactly what McGee did to Mendenhall the first half of the game last Thursday. I'd stack the box and play run, because that is all Simpson Academy is going to do. If you want to beat Simpson Academy, stack the box.
Moving on to the next game, which was game of the week, the game of the county. Simpson County Super Bowl, McGee Trojans taking on Mendenhall Tigers. Going into the game, we've all seen the first 2 weeks of the season how explosive Mendenhall's offense was, and everybody, was saying, "Oh man, Mendenhall's going to blow McGee out. They're going to win by 40." Yada yada yada. And I didn't think so. I didn't buy into the hype. I thought that in a rivalry game as big as this, and everyone can agree with me on this, this was probably the biggest Simpson County Super Bowl since Big Red and
I can agree with that. It had much tension.
And so I really felt this was going to be a close game. And in the first half, it was. The game was tied 18-18, and McGee actually kicked a field goal to tie the game going into halftime. But then that second half, Mendenhall they turned on that switch. Michael Jr., the running back, he really didn't have that great of a night. He got stopped a lot on running the ball. But then that second half, Christian Allen just showed up, and the Mendenhall passing game was unstoppable. And to me, when you're a high school football team and when your running game is getting stopped and you're able to just turn to your passing game and beat teams the way that Mendenhall beat McGee in the second half, it's hard for anybody to beat you. And so, what was this final
I'd
score?
like to add on to something you said real quick. It was 46-18. But you said that Michael Jr. didn't have a great game or whatever. No, Michael Jr. didn't break many big runs like we're accustomed to him seeing. But we went back and watched film today, and other than the first handoff of the game, he lost 2 yards. He did not have a run for less than 4 yards. So if you're running the ball constantly for 4 or 5 yards, that's pretty good.
And that's a big deal considering McGee's scheme on defense. They didn't have
if they're putting 8 in the box and Michael Jr. is still able to run for 4 or 5 yards every time, that's a winning offense.
They didn't
I agree.
But no, he did not break the big runs like we're accustomed to him saying.
Exactly. Then that's what I'm getting at.
Of course, I picked Mendenhall because everyone picked Mendenhall that night, and it wasn't because we're biased. It's just because this offense is too deadly right now. I don't see anybody besides one of these Lauderdale teams maybe stopping Mendenhall. But
West Lauderdale Equipment are the two teams to beat in district other than us.
But I don't want to give that first half to McGee and say they held Mendenhall, they held their own. I think it was a lack of discipline on Mendenhall's side. Penalties killed them. They had too many offsides. Just
a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
Way too many. I think 34 total missed
35.
tackles.
The discipline.
35.
We paid for them today, I'll tell you
The
that.
discipline was horrible.
But another thing, I don't know if it was the lack of coaching or if it was Mendenhall holding on to the second half and letting McGee shoot all their heavy loads in the first half. But me and Alex both noticed McGee did not have a safety over the top the whole game. They could have thrown the ball with ease. They could have put up 30 points in the first half easily.
I predicted Mendenhall, and I was correct, but I even said that Mendenhall could score 100 points on McGee. And I honestly think if Mendenhall played the entire game like they played that third quarter, they could score 100 points on McGee. Their offense is so deadly, but this honestly was not a good game for Mendenhall. It wasn't clicking or something. First of all, I don't know why they chose not to throw the ball in the first half because McGee's defensive scheme was literally no safeties. All the wide receivers were one-on-one, and they loaded the box to stop Michael Jr. If they would have aired the ball out more, this game would have been close from the start. I don't understand why they didn't air the ball out more, but the result was still the same. In the third quarter, they ended up throwing, and you saw what happened. 4 touchdowns in the third quarter, and the game didn't end up really close.
I had Mendenhall winning. I mean, I thought it was a no-brainer. McGee did show me something in the first half that I didn't think they had, but Mendenhall came out the second half and showed them out. But I'm going to say something about what Steve said. I had no idea Michael Jr. did that. I did not know he had. I personally think that's good. And I think in high school sports, and I want to blame this too because I thought the same thing. If you don't score a touchdown, you don't have a good game. And I think that kind of gets in the way a lot because when you're averaging 4 yards every rush after he had one
negative yard play in his first play of the game.
I think it looks so bad to us because we're used to watching.
We're used to watching him
break out 50-yard runs.
50-yard runs every other play.
Well, him nor Keyshawn had a touchdown, and that really opened up for other players to shine, and that just shows you.
Keyshawn had a big kickoff return.
Yeah.
He had a couple plays of 15, 20 yards. I mean, both players did their job.
When your two stars don't score,
McGee single-handedly tried to shut down Michael Jr. and Keyshawn Collier. And, Key and Mike didn't have the best game of their lives. I wouldn't say they were shut down by any means.
No,
but
right.
It did surely open up gates for players such as Motown. Motown had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Christian Allen had 3 touchdowns on the ground and 1 through the air. I mean,
right.
Bobo had a big touchdown catch. It opens up room for other players, and that's the thing that's so good about Mendenhall is if you try to stop one guy, well, here's another 5 that can come at you and beat you.
Well, before we move on to this week's games, I just want to say this, and I don't think that we give enough credit, but the Mendenhall offensive line has really stepped up.
Awesome.
They've really stepped up, but that'll be a talk for next week. Once again, Mendenhall does have a bye this week, so we'll not be covering a Mendenhall game this week. But jumping into our games this week, I want to start off by thanking everyone who sent us messages on Facebook, emailed us all of your high school's games that you wanted to be featured. After we sat down and we all looked at it, we took stats into consideration. We took rankings. Just really analyzing which game would be featured. Randy found a record that he saw that said that so far this season, the MAIS is 10-4 against Mississippi high school public schools, which I thought was crazy. Now,
it stands out.
Yeah, it stands out, but it's not.
It's not top-tier private schools versus top-tier public schools.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make it out to be.
But after we looked at it, it was no question that our featured game this week would be Jackson Academy versus Northeast Lauderdale. I don't think this game's close. I think that Jackson Academy will beat Northeast Lauderdale. I understand that Northeast Lauderdale has a pretty stout running back, but I think Jackson Academy has a 3-star quarterback who is going to light the scoreboard up on this Northeast Lauderdale defense. And so I've got JA winning, and I've got them winning big, probably about 3 touchdowns.
JA, when you think of them, they're obviously the top premier dog in private school football, of course. There's just some, they're the same thing. But anyways, Northeast Lauderdale, they're a middle of the pack 4A team at best. But really, I think if you took a top 10 4A team, that they could go head to head with JA and win with ease. So this week, I'm going to choose Northeast Lauderdale over JA, and I'm probably going to be the only person to do it. But I think Cam Hewlin for Northeast Lauderdale, I think he's going to be the deciding factor. JA's got a good run defense, but I think Hewlin's going to be able to do some big plays against them, and I think he's going to make some holes open up for them and maybe get a passing game going this week.
I think this game is going to be pass versus run. Northeast Lauderdale has the run game. Jackson Academy has the pass game. I think the passing game wins this. You got a 3-star quarterback, and I think he shows that Friday night.
Kincaid Dent, who's the quarterback at Jackson Academy, is an absolute monster on the football field. He's going to be playing on Saturdays next year. But Northeast Lauderdale, I'm sure of it. He has just about every, Conference USA offer with Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss. He has all those. But Northeast Lauderdale does provide a good run game. We've seen both of these teams the last couple of years, and Northeast Lauderdale, I just don't think they're what they're hyped up to be. They haven't really played anybody so far. I think the running back is for sure good, but the running defense from Jackson Academy is really good. In the Jamboree, I don't know how many rushing yards we had on them, but it couldn't have been more than 30. I mean, their rushing defense is very good. Now, the secondary is not near as good. We had a couple big touchdown passes. So if Northeast Lauderdale can open up their playbook and get some passing going, they have a shot in this game. But I don't see it happening. I see JA winning big, 25-30.
I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to spend too much time on this game because this game is not going to be close. Jackson Academy with their quarterback is going to absolutely make easy work out of Northeast Lauderdale. Northeast Lauderdale just won't be able to compete. Jackson Academy has that insane passing game with Kincaid Dent. He's just going to keep on lighting the scoreboard up. He's a 3-star athlete. Like Steven said, he will be playing in college football on your television screen. I mean, it's just ridiculous how, to me, unevenly matched these teams are. I honest to God, think that the running back from Northeast Lauderdale will get stopped. I don't think he'll put up too many numbers. I think he'll put up under 150 rushing yards, and I think Jackson Academy takes this game in an absolute blowout.
Moving on to our next game.
Hang on, I want to say, I'm not trying to make a joke or anything, but is the rain going to be moved out by Friday? Because if it's raining like it's supposed to, there's a chance that Jackson Academy is not going to be able to use this quarterback to play.
The rain will be out by tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Or tomorrow night.
Moving on to our next game, the McGee Trojans take on the Collins Tigers. In the first episode of Pick'em, I chose the Collins Tigers to beat Jefferson Davis. Unfortunately, they did fall short. However, I don't think that one game defines this Collins football team. I think this is still a championship caliber team. I think that this is a team that has great coaches, great athletes, and they know how to win football games. And I think that Collins this week is just too much of a match for McGee, and I've got Collins winning by about 21, 28 points.
When I'm going to go ahead and say I got Collins. Just plain out. But when Collins played Jeff Davis, you may not think it, but there is such thing as a good loss when you hold a team like that. That was a good loss on them. So I thought it was until this past week when Jeff Davis collapsed against Wayne County. That loss looks even worse now, but still, I think they'll be able to handle McGee pretty easily. And if I was McGee after what Bobo Walker did on Tiger Talk this past week, after he claimed that it was his city, on their field, after he claimed it was his county, well, the whole Mendenhall Tigers, he claimed it was their county, I think they're going to be pissed off, but I just don't think they'll be able to do much against Collins. If they load the box like they did against Mendenhall, Collins' quarterback is going to absolutely obliterate this defense. It's not going to be a close game. Collins will win by almost 3 possessions.
I agree with Randy. I have Collins winning this, and if McGee loads spots like they did against Mendenhall, like Randy said, Collins' quarterback will pick apart McGee's defense, and I have Collins in about a 21-28 ball game.
I'm going with the opposite this week. I got McGee winning this game. The defense is good. The offense isn't what everybody thought it would be. They've got some good players over there, but I think that the offense can work well enough to beat this Collins team. I think McGee wins by 7
McGee looked good this past week, but I don't think it's because McGee was good. I think it's because Mendenhall played so poorly in the first half.
I want to say that I want to go ahead and take this moment to talk to any McGee fan, player, or coach. If you go to Collins and try to do that retarded defense that you try to do on Mendenhall, they will absolutely obliterate you. Okay, you can't one-on-one every single receiver, and especially against the Collins quarterback. You see what happened in the third quarter. Once Christian Allen started throwing the ball, it wasn't close. Just like Collins will pick up on that and throw the ball, and it won't be close. McGee, please, I'm begging you, change up your defense if you want a shot to do anything this season. With that being said, Collins destroys McGee in this game. It won't be close. I got him by 35.
Oh.
Now moving on to our last game. The Simpson Academy Cougars are taking on PCS, which is Presbyterian Christian School. Each episode, week by week, I've chosen against Simpson. This week it's different. I think that this is a really bad PCS football team, and I think that right now we still don't know exactly who this Simpson Academy football team is. And for that reason, I've got Simpson winning, and I've got Simpson winning big by around 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, for the first time, I'm going to have to go with Simpson too. PCS, hot garbage. They're hot garbage. They're 0-3. They're not a good team. We don't know what Simpson has right now. I think they're definitely a more talented team than a lot of us are giving them credit for. I just don't think they're playing together whole as a team right now. And I hate to see the talent go to waste because they have the playmaking abilities. And I think Caleb coming back this week, I think he'll only probably run 20 or so plays. He's not going to go full throttle. But he's going to make a big difference. And I'm pretty sure Simpson will keep their offense vanilla again. They don't have any type of passing game, but I don't even think they need Caleb or a passing game this week. I think, honestly, Michael and Corbin could just run this one all over PCS. That's how bad they are. And I probably have Simpson 17 to 21 points easily.
Okay, I'm going to pick Simpson for the third straight week. I love this group of talent, but let me say this. Coaches at Simpson Academy, if you run the ball on 4th and 12 in high school football, you're going to lose. with the game on the line, you're going to lose.
Not even adding in that they were on their own 20-yard line with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's logical. I mean, I'm not trying to just sit here and talk about you guys, but come on now.
I want to say
I think an 11th grader, an 11-year-old kid on Madden could have made a better choice. He would have known what to do.
I want to point out that Simpson is atrocious at throwing the ball. Literally, they cannot throw the ball. I understand where the coach was coming from. You know, they had a couple big runs that game. Why not try again? PCS knew what they were doing all game, and Simpson was still having a good. Oak Forest knew what they were doing all game, and still they were, making some big runs during that game. So why not try it again? They tried to throw it further than 5 yards one time, and that was an interception. So why try that again?
Yeah, I mean,
they can't throw the ball. They're absolutely horrid at it.
They had to have somebody on that team that could throw a pass for 12
If that was the
yards.
case, then I think they wouldn't have been.
I just don't.
I can understand where you're coming from because the only play that they tried going deep on all game, it was a play on the left side of the field, and the pick wound up on the right side of the field. So, I mean, Simpson, you guys got to get it together. The run is going to work this week and probably next week. But come district play, if you want a chance at making playoffs, something's got to change, guys.
I will say, Simpson's running game is really good. Their passing game is really bad. And their defense is bad. But
I disagree. I think Simpson's defense is a...
I think
Simpson's defense...
In what I watched, Simpson's defense was not...
I think we need to watch 2 different games.
Some plays, their defensive line is amazing.
Yeah.
Some, it seems like they take plays off. Honestly.
I will say, Simpson's offensive line, props to you guys.
However, I think Simpson wins big this week.
Simpson wins this week because they should win this week. They're going to dominate the entire game. They're playing an absolutely terrible team who lost like 20 or so players. I'm probably exaggerating, but they lost a lot of players in the offseason. Simpson will keep their offense from vanilla, and I don't blame them for it this week because they don't need to pull anything else. They can literally run a halfback dive and win this game. PCS is bad, and Simpson's running game is really good. Once again, they're really one-dimensional. I'm not going to hate on them for that right now because I'm not going to hate on the play call because they can't. They just can't pass the ball right now.
I want to say last week they played a good Oak Forest team, and they showed me more in that game than they did against their win against Lee.
Simpson, the score will be closer than the game will actually be in this game because it's just going to be Simpson pounding the ball. It's going to be a terrible game to watch. It's just going to be a whole bunch of first down, Simpson driving up the field and scoring on PCS.
I want to say
Hooks Harvey comes back next week for Simpson Academy.
And I think that's the number one thing that anybody who follows Simpson football should be looking for because he's actually going to add some
passing game.
It's going to make them not one-dimensional anymore. It's going to make them actually maybe someone a team that can air it out every now and then at least.
And maybe give a break to Winstead.
Again, the score will not reflect the game. You're going to look up at the end and think Simpson might have won by 40, but in the end they're only going to win by 2-3 touchdowns due to the fact that it's just a running offense. They're just going to pound the ball. They're going to dominate all night, but it's not going to be an explosive offense.
And I want to say I don't know what it is that has made me go to the past few games for Simpson because every game gets more and more boring. It is just it's
something's
boring.
Gotta change.
Well, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And
I mean,
like Alex
working,
said,
but it's broke.
Like Alex
it's
said,
not
they
broke. The Oak Forest was just clearly a better team.
Alex said Simpson Academy could use a halfback dive and win this game. Well, last week that was Simpson Academy's playbook.
They're going to run power eye left and power eye right, and that's about it.
True, maybe in the bloodstream. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to just recap our picks and all the games. Starting off with our featured game, like I said, JA versus Northeast Lauderdale. I've got JA winning big. I think the quarterback is too much to handle, and I can see this win being anywhere between 21 and 28 points.
Like I said, I believe Jay is going to take the loss. I think the running back for Northeast Lauderdale is going to be the difference maker in this game.
I think that this is, like I said, a game between passing the ball and running the ball and passing win. Jackson Academy in overtime.
JA wins by 25 to 30. It's not close.
Jay is going to win by at least 21 points. They're just going to air it out, and Northeast Lauderdale won't be able to keep up.
I don't think we're getting enough credit for this Northeast Lauderdale running back.
Moving on to the next game, McGee versus Collins. I think Collins quarterback, Collins offense, Collins' entire team is just too much, and I've got Collins beating McGee once again by about 21, 28 points.
When you think of when the game first ended last Thursday, you were like, wow, this McGee team is actually pretty stout. But when you sit there and think about it, they're not. Their 6 of their 18 points came off of a block punt for a touchdown. It shouldn't have went that way. It was just poor discipline on Mendenhall the whole first half. I think this McGee team is overrated right now. I think they beat 2 sorry teams for the first 2 games. I don't see them doing much. Maybe if they can get it together, they'll be a good 3A team. But right now, I think Collins beats them easily. I think the quarterback is going to have almost 300 passing yards.
We saw what McGee did against the pass, and this Collins team is a pass-first offense, and I think they show exactly why McGee cannot keep up with the pass Friday night when they destroy McGee. Mark my words, it will not be close.
I'm going with the upset. Playmakers win ball games, and McGee's got a lot of them.
Jackson Academy wins.
Collins.
Cut that injury. Collins wins. It's not going to be close. If Collins is, as long as they have some kind of sense about them, they will know to air the ball out, and they're not just going to run while McGee sails out, stop the run every time. It's 1-on-1 all across the field. Just air it out and win.
I just want to know where you're getting this thing from McGee. They got playmakers, but they had 12 offensive points last week.
Mendenhall's defense is better than Collins' defense. Collins hasn't shown me anything so far. JDC's not what they're chopped up to be. Collins, I don't think they've really played anybody other than JDC. And JDC's good, don't get me wrong, but they're not what they were last year. So I think that Collins hadn't played anybody, and I think
McGee hasn't played anybody but Mendenhall. They didn't do anything against Mendenhall.
Amen. I think the playmakers from McGee, whether it's Ross McKinnis, Chase Rankin, Chandler Pittman, Josh Sanders, Javo Thurman, somebody's going to make some plays.
Fair point.
Moving on to the last game, Simpson Academy versus PCS. This is not going to be a close game. PCS isn't good. Simpson, nobody knows. But Simpson is better than PCS. I've got Simpson winning anywhere from 20 to 30 points.
It's easily going to be a Simpson-dominated game. Like Alex said, they don't even have to open their playbook this week. It's going to be so boring to watch. But for some unknown reason, I'm probably going to be at the game again this Friday. I don't know why I keep going, but I do. But it's going to be boring to watch. But Simpson's going to pound it all night long. PCS, they're hot garbage, and they're going to be able to stop it. Simpson wins easily by probably 21 points or more.
Simpson, do me a favor. If somehow you let this game slip out of your hands and you have a chance to win, and it's 4th down and game's on the line, do not run the ball. Just try something. Give Michael Winslow the ball, let him tap. I personally believe it's a Simpson shutout this week.
Fans, anybody going in attendance, bring a book. This is going to be a doozy of a game. The offense is boring, but they're going to dominate.
It's like watching Notre Dame play Navy.
It's like, have you ever watched the Navy versus Army game? There's going to be a maximum of 3 passes thrown the whole game.
And I'll think you're there.
But it works somehow.
It works. And it will work this week in a big way. Simpson wins by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Simpson's going to win by 14. They're going to dominate from the start to the end. Yeah, 14, when you think about it, isn't that big of a gap, but if you watch the game, it's going to be
a bigger gap than the scoreboard reflects.
Simpson, even though I picked against them, they dominated Leak, but the score still didn't show.
It was 18-14.
Yeah, the score did not show, but they dominated Leak every aspect of the game.
And last week, I thought they kind of got dominated a little bit, and they only lost by 8 points.
Yeah.
So I think when both offenses run like that, like an Army-Navy type game, nobody's going to blow another one out. But I do think this one's not close. I think Simpson wins by 2-3 touchdowns.
I think it's a Simpson shutout, like I said. I don't think PCS scores.
And speaking of Simpson Academy football, I'm going to let Alex and Randy kind of tell y'all more about it, but we have a new segment coming to GroupCast. We already have Tiger Talk. We're working on Trojan Talk, but we now have Cougar Chat coming, and I'm going to let these two guys tell y'all a little bit more about it.
So basically, if you love our weekly series Tiger Talk, where we go out on the field and interview the players from the game, Casey Wallace will be doing that for the Simpson Academy Cougars. She'll get on the field and do Cougar Chat after every single game and interview the Simpson Academy players, ask them things about the game they just played.
And Casey's more than likely going to have another person with her. We haven't quite decided yet. And it's going to be something fun to watch. You get a little taste of your favorite team after the game. You get to hear what they say. And it's just something fun, and it just brings more to the game, really.
And also, you can catch Tiger Talk, Trojan Talk, and Cougar Chat on Facebook. We usually do the videos live on the GroupCast Sports Facebook page, and the only way to see that is to go over to the page and like it. We want to thank you all for watching this week's episode of GroupCast Pick'em. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Maggie Made Designs, Sharon Ammann, Rodan and Fields, Brandy's Hope, and People's Bank. If you would like to be a sponsor for GroupCast, just get in touch with us. You can contact us via email, Facebook Messenger, or you can go to our website and you will find all of us and a few more guys who are employed with GroupCast Sports. You can find our contact information. If you want your team featured as a featured game of the week here on Pick'em, like I said, be sure to send us messages on Facebook. Once again, I want to thank you all for watching, and see you next time.